Guys, I'm probably not gonna say anything. Guys, I'm just interested in the video.
If you agree, step forward.
Guys, middle ground, okay? Just so I don't get canceled, okay? Middle ground is a content piece by Jubilee where they have a topic and then they have people on both sides of a topic and then they see if they agree on stuff and then they debate. And it's a disaster. It's a dumpster fire.
If you disagree, stay put. Nobody likes abortions.
I don't think anyone likes it. I think they use it and they might use it incorrectly from my perspective, but I don't think anyone likes an abortion. Like they're not like jumping for joy for it.
I think it is a very physically taxing process to go through, and I don't think anyone would want to intentionally have an abortion. I think those who get an abortion, most of the time, it's because they need to.
It's a harmful narrative on both sides of the conversation to say that, women celebrate abortion. I think it creates a prejudice around women who do get abortions. And I don't think that it's good to kind of minimize the decision of abortion from either side, from either perspective, so.
Can the disagreeer step forward?
Oh, it's already started. I thought this was the intro.
Are you going to wear the same shirt?
How much stuff I want to, man?
I think if you asked me this question maybe several years ago, I would have said nobody likes abortion. But I think in today's climate, it is much more celebrated. As a pro-life person, I've had people tell me that they will dedicate their next abortion to me. Instead of helping women, they will have an abortion.
I've heard very similar responses to you. Things like, I'll donate to Planned Parenthood in your name. And there's other pages like Shout Your Abortion that openly celebrates abortion rights.
Yeah, I celebrate abortion, and I think that campaigns like
guys, I don't have an argument, and I'm on neither side. I'm just watching the video, but I feel like both of the arguments presented here, they use Twitter trolls as their example.
Shout Your Abortion aren't about like getting in your face. But women who choose to have abortions suffer a lot of stigma and trauma from people who stand outside clinics and have grotesque images and literally, damning your soul. Abortion as a medical procedure and resource is something that I do celebrate. It's a human right, and I love abortion. My name is Rocky. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I am very pro-abortion.
Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Say that again?
I love abortion. My name is Rocky. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I am very pro-abortion. I think that legislation like SB 8 opens the door and the path towards handing over our bodily autonomy to the state. I don't understand how anyone can justify using their personal beliefs to take away the rights of others.
Look at that. I didn't hear it.
My name's Abby.
If I'm going to address the person with the right pronouns, I want to hear it so I could say it properly. I thought she said he, who, and then other stuff. So I had no idea.
From Orlando, Florida, and I'm an abolitionist of human abortion. We have to ask the question of what makes humans valuable. So because my worldview as a Christian gives me a foundation for human worth, and because I believe scientifically fetuses are human beings from the moment of conception, I am against abortion.
Biological fathers should have an equal say in abortions.
I'm just watching the video.
Well, I think so. I mean, it's consistency. Like if we're defining that as a life, if it is a life, to put a kid up for adoption, both parents have to agree.
I agree. I have talked to lots of women who've had abortions, and I've talked to lots of men who are hurting. They're completely heartbroken. They would have raised the baby. They wanted to raise the baby. They begged for the life of the baby, and they obviously created the baby together. But only one of them gets to decide if their child gets to live or die.
I would like to say, from more of a honestly feminist perspective, men have responsibility as the other parent of that child. Ironically enough, a lot of the times when pro-choice people put the focus completely on the woman, they strip the man of all his parental rights and responsibilities. And I think that's why actually a lot of men who are pro-choice because they don't want to have those fatherly responsibilities that they will have once the child is born.
You left us, man. I want to know why.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
I'm mad conflicted about this because I strongly feel like a man should not have control over what a woman does with her body. I more so have an issue with when a man doesn't actually want that baby. She wants it and then expects this man to like be the ultimate provider and child care and all this extra stuff, right? But in the case of if the man wanted it, the baby, and the woman didn't want it, he has no say so. I think that's a fucked up dynamic. So that's why I was going back and forth.
Well, you should have stayed then. It sounds like you're for men having more rights.
I just can't force a woman to be like, no, you have to do this, because I think it's fucked up. It's her body.
But it's also a child's life in there. It's not just her body; it's a child's life.
And it's also your son or daughter.
I think truly, in my eyes, it's like it's my body. I get to do what I want with it, and I don't think anyone, including the other person who's involved, should have a say whether I want to keep it or whether I want to get an abortion.
My name is Asher, currently reside in Las Vegas, and I'm for pro-abortion. I used to be against abortion until an unwanted pregnancy happened to me. If you know for a fact that you're not even gonna be the best parent for that child, or you can't provide for that child, or maybe you're just fearful and don't wanna pop the child out, or just whatever reason that you have, I feel like you shouldn't have to go through with that. You still have that choice over your life, your body.
I have had an abortion.
A few months ago, I found out that I was pregnant. When I imagined myself finding out I was pregnant for the first time.
I understand. I want to
when I found out I was pregnant.
I want to question.
I've gone.
I want to question
My
the
name
debates.
is Christine. I'm from Denver, and I.
They disagree, a step forward.
The disagreeers, that's not a question though. Guys, this is not a question. I guess I like the content because of the questions. This is not a question. You know what's a question?
Abortion is murder.
I think it is murder. I think for the abortionist more so than the woman. I think a lot of women don't necessarily know exactly how an abortion procedure is formed. I've had a girl even tell me that at 20 weeks a baby is just a clump of cells, and that's just not true.
I do believe now there might be cases where some women might be unaware of what's going on in an abortion. But by and large, I think especially with the advent of the internet and so much education out there, many of them do know that there's a life inside of them and they want to end that life, whether they call it murder or not.
Hard disagree. Absolutely disagree.
Okay.
I've definitely met a lot of teenage girls who grew up in our generation who believe that abortion is normal, a fetus is a clump of cells, and there is no human life in the womb. They don't tell you when you go in for an abortion consultation, this is a child and this is a human life, and that's what's going to be happening. I have a hard time believing that if most women knew they were killing a child, they would do that. I don't think women in America are that malevolent. I think it's very irresponsible and very hurtful to say, oh, this woman's a murderer because she had an abortion.
At least my personal experience, the people who worked there were very understanding. They let me know there is a child that could come out of you in 9 months. Are you sure you want to do this? And I knew there was a child in my body. I knew I could have a child in 9 months, and I knew that that child can grow old and be their own person. But I made that choice because I am allowed to have that choice, and especially you.
I'm trying to learn different perspectives, okay? And some of these videos, sometimes they're just they're an experience. But sometimes
a white man, you are not allowed to say what I can do with my body, nor any of these other women who are able to carry a child.
I think that's so dangerous. I think that's so dangerous to say that you can't say because of your sexuality, who you are as a male or female, or how you believe as a religion, you can't define what's right and wrong. I think that's misguided,
you can
and we
have your
shouldn't
own
take that
opinion.
into policy.
I think what she's
If it's a
saying is
child,
that
you should have
whatever
that right.
your morality is, I think that folks are entitled, that we have freedom of religion, we have freedom from religion. Whatever your moral value is, the issue is trying to turn that into legislation and putting it on someone else.
We legislate what's right and wrong all the time.
Thinking even medically, like for Indigenous women, they're 2 times as likely to die from pregnancy-related complications. Who's responsible for that murder if she's forced to carry that baby?
Well, I would be all for working on legislation altogether where, if the woman's been taken advantage of, or if they've incest situations, or if her life's at risk, we can keep those options on the table.
So all of a sudden, because she could potentially die, we'll make legislation where she can't abort that baby, and all of a sudden you're pro-abortion?
No, I'm not pro-abortion. I personally would not like her to choose that option. I think science
has
come.
No.
I think science has come a long way where that's vastly not the case anymore within our medical community, and we need to continue to increase funding for those mechanisms to provide more research on how to keep the woman alive in those situations.
What is the end goal here, that abortion be illegal and it be criminalized and removed as a resource forever from this country? Is that the
Illegal and unthinkable.
Illegal and unthinkable? Yes. So it is culturally
for women. We want women to have resources, first of all, to where they don't need an abortion, and then abortion for the abortionist is criminalized. So an abortionist could go to jail for performing it. Women should not be criminalized because at the end of the day, women are victims of abortion as well.
My name is Sebastian King, and I am anti-abortion side. My mom had an unplanned pregnancy because she was taken advantage of from the time she was 12 to 15, and she was in and out of state custody, and a judge even encouraged her to have an abortion and told my mom that she won't amount to anything in life if she goes through with this pregnancy. Because she chose life, that's the only reason I'm here today, and that's my mission, is to ensure that all life is protected.
Okay, man.
Abortion should be accessible to rape and incest survivors.
If you're pregnant from your brother or your cousin or your father, especially if it wasn't consensual, or even if it was, you should still have that option to abort the baby. And especially if you've been raped, there are some people who have that thought like, oh my God, like what if when I look at my child, I relive that trauma?
Just a reminder.
And not saying that's how all rape victims view it, but it's just like some women have that fear.
Okay, so I was raped for 4 years of my life, violently, more times than I can count. And I did get pregnant when I was 15. My rapist threatened me with abortion multiple times. Used that as a tool to keep me in his power. If he had the power to terminate evidence, he had power against me. I did end up losing her, but I wanted her very badly. I named her Rachael, which is Rachel in English. And I think it's very important to humanize people who are conceived in rape because they're walking around right now.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, and I think it's very insulting to place that on a human being. I think that humans, no matter how they are conceived, are human beings, and they deserve to be respected, and their lives deserve to be respected.
And I agree because that's me. I agree 100%. And my mom has always told me she doesn't view me as even on my birth certificate, he's not my father. So.
Also, I want to tap on what you said, though, because you said you really wanted to keep your daughter. And although you don't, see it as the rape baby and stuff, other people who also go through that traumatic experience may actually see it like that, right? You wanted that, but there's other people that have their
guys, I'm gonna have to get us out of here soon.
A choice taken away from them. They shouldn't be shamed in going through this, even having to live through that experience of the rape baby.
Here's the thing. When you get an abortion as a reaction to rape, you are continuing the cycle of violence. So you were raped, that was a violent experience that happened to you, that wasn't your fault, you're hurt, you've been victimized. Why is it fair to further victimize someone else because you are hurt?
But you're seeing it as a someone though, man. I'm putting myself in a woman's shoes or a human being's shoes, right? You take my choice away, you rape me, and for all you know, I might be
I think whatever it is, there's always multiple ways of thinking about something in most scenarios. I think sometimes some people go in this on this show and they have a very linear thought or a thought process, right? And only one is the valid one. When there's multiple valid ones and multiple invalid ones, right? So I think invalidating all other arguments or line of thought because yours is so solidified, I think is a little bit unreasonable.
Struggling human being, right? Making $8 an hour or something like that. Crazy bills. I might be living in my car. I might be sleeping on the dumpster behind McDonald's. But now because of your opinion, right, and my traumatic experience, I get shamed because I don't want to bring this life into the world, bro. Oh, but you should give birth and then put it in foster care if you don't want it, bro.
I want to touch on that too, just for a second. Like for trauma, I think absolutely what I am passionate about is giving people the choice. And for you, you thought a lot about your choice and you wanted that pregnancy. And I'm really sorry that you lost that child. And I also thought a lot about, for myself, when I went through that experience, what choice would be best for me. And for me, that was not carrying the child. And I think trauma is such an interesting thing. For me, not having control over a child growing inside of me and changing my fate of my life, you know, that would be more traumatic than the initial experience. We don't know how people are going to react, but I do fight and would want them to have the choice to do what's best for them. I think a strange misconception that people have about people who are pro-abortion is that we don't have respect for life or we don't care about.
America offers resources to help you raise a child.
Yeah, let's be honest. America offers resources to not much.
Offers resources to help you raise a child.
There's tax benefits to having children. I think there was also, you know, in the latest round of COVID money, there was funding for women who've had children.
Yeah, and there are so many Christian charities and so many different organizations that want to help women, you know, and the resources are there.
Also, government resources. There are government resources that help you take care of children. Are there enough? That is a different question.
I was basically just agreeing with what you said because Section 8, food stamps, free health care, school programs and whatnot. Like, there are resources. Are there enough?
That's how my mom survived when she had me, because of government assistance. So that's the only way she made it, because of that.
Uh-oh, okay, here it comes.
I have been a pregnant teenager, and I've also been a teenage mother on welfare and unemployed. The number of resources that are available state to state is something that is atrocious. But what it comes down to is a lot of time and energy. The choice between, do I go to work and get the money to pay rent, or do I go and I sit in the office, or do I go to this nonprofit who's requiring me to fill out this application and come to a meeting in the daytime when I'm supposed to be working.
So you see it kind of like a job, like you're clocking in to fill in paperwork and receiving your check.
It is. Low resources and creating these sort of impossible hurdles and more barriers for people who are already experiencing them to overcome to get the help is not a help at all.
And I feel like a completely separate conversation.
Chat, you know, guys, I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna skip the rest of the video, to be honest. Guys, I thought it was, I wanted it to be like the old Jubilees. Well, I thought it was gonna be more certain way than this, okay? Apologies if I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, okay? I didn't think it was that, guys, I ain't gotta justify shit.